Congresswoman Lofgren said when she reminded us that the question is not what under our Constitution our country should do to Bill Clinton. The question is what the Congress of the United States might do to the country if it proceeds along the present path without pausing in a serious way to reassess where it is we're going.
Well, I was actually working for Congressman Don Edwards, who was a member of the Judiciary Committee during the impeachment of Richard Nixon. I was a law student, so I wasn't running the show, but I did work on it. I was going to law school in California and working in the local office. And I came back to work on the bankruptcy bill because the lawyers that were working on the bankruptcy bill were working on impeachment, which lasted like 10 days. Like everybody got sucked into the tornado that was the impeachment inquiry. You had a sense of how historic it was, how serious it was, but to be present was both an honor and also an obligation, and to be able to play a small part in something was, it felt profound.
It still feel that way now?
Yeah, it does. In the Clinton impeachment, I was a member of the House Judiciary Committee that deliberated over the Starr report and ultimately voted out, although I did not vote for it, articles of impeachment against Mr. Clinton.
The Republicans will vote to impeach the president, whom they could not defeat at the polls for reasons that do not add up to treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors.
High crimes and misdemeanors is about the government. It's about whether the activity of the president really threatens the Constitution and the democracy. And that's a very high standard, but it had nothing to do with President Clinton lying about sex. That was not a good thing. It was an embarrassing thing. It was a wrong thing, but it wasn't about destroying the functioning of the US government. For Nixon, it was closer to the issue that we're dealing with here. The abuse of presidential power, the diversion of the system of government, the undercutting of the governmental system itself. And that's what we are exploring at this time relative to President Trump. The evidence that has been compiled relative to President Trump's behavior is disturbing. We're going to hear other witnesses. Maybe there's some more benign explanation. We'll find out. But the picture that has emerged so far is of a president who took appropriations that had been enacted by the Congress and signed into law by him. That's pretty serious. Now, maybe it threatens our foreign policy, certainly our national security, but also the functioning of democracy. That's not the way. Obviously, this is a Republican president. Republican members, understandably, are supportive of a president of their party. We all understand that. But in the end, all of us have to look at what's the evidence and what is the gravity of the evidence and what's our obligation. That's what we have to do.
Let's hope for the best. The country's worth a fight for fairness.